Infidelity is one of the very greatest challenges that any marriage can ever face.
But when it comes to the issue of infidelity, transparency is very important.
A culprit is someone who marries with the intention that infidelity is a part of life.
If we can find the problem, what caused the problem, then it will be easy to see the solution.
That's right. Stay tuned for our feature presentation.
Baby, I'm sorry. I really am. It's the devil's work. Joe, dáríjì mi. It won't happen again. It was just once. Modara.
It's okay. I said it's fine. It's fine. It is well. It is well. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is well. I want to get to the junction. I want to get what we can eat for dinner. We'll be fine. Yeah, and I'll be fine too. I'll see you soon. Yeah.
Hello? Alpha. What? She did what? Oh my God. I know it's true, mo mess up. But me expect kó wá lọlé ọmọ ọlọ́mọ lọ máa fọ́ glass. Oh my God. What do I do now? Police station. How did you know this? What? Instagram báwo? Jọ̀ọ́ má pẹ́ padà. What do I do? Hello, Daddy. No, sir. Even more explain Fufura me. I told her and I confessed because I didn't want things to go out of hand. Sir, you saw it on Facebook. Oh my God. What do I do now? What do I do? Sir, shit. This is a scandal already.
You're welcome to another amazing session for Naked and Not Ashamed. Even though we're dealing with a rather hard and tense matter on this very day, and that is the issue of infidelity. It is indeed not a laughing matter. It is what makes shipwreck of weddings, of marriages. Infidelity is one of the very greatest challenges that any marriage can ever face. And for couples that have sadly fallen into this issue, this pitfall, in one way or another, it's usually difficult to come out without having casualties. But in life, you don't face the ideal, you face the reality. And in facing the reality, we have to address these issues whenever they come up. Because we can't just ignore it and pretend that what has happened has not happened. When infidelity has taken place, what do we do? How do we go about it? How do we proceed?
All right, you're welcome once again to another amazing episode. Like my husband said, it's a very serious matter, but it's not one that does not have a solution.
That's
Or
right.
that cannot be dealt with. I think one of the things that we would have seen around, even in our environment, is the fact that when it comes to the issue of infidelity, transparency is very important. Transparency is important in the sense that even though it takes maturity for the partner to accept and to forgive and to allow it to pass, but time is also important because time has to heal. So we're going to be dealing with all these factors as we go ahead. Please follow us closely and have an amazing time. Please listen. This would help marriages that even are about to down the verge of breaking.
That's
if you
right.
can just apply these principles.
Actually, my wife nailed it. If you listen to this session, it will actually avert the situations from coming up in the first place. But if they have come up, then together we can deal with it. And I would like to say that at times, when we're having these sessions, we speak generically. We try and touch different aspects and different bases. At times, you might require a personal sit down of counseling with us, like people have been doing, where we can sit down and narrow the cases. But straight to it this very wonderful day. The case of infidelity is something whereby we can separate people into two different aspects. And what I mean is, if your spouse has fallen into infidelity, we need to quickly locate, are they victims or are they culprits? What do I mean? Life is hard and life is tough. And at times, like they say in the Yoruba adage, that when the head of a fish is bad, the entire fish is bad. If at the beginning of marriage, one has chosen wrongly, because there is such a thing, and you have married a culprit. A culprit is someone who marries with the intention that infidelity is a part of life. That is a culprit. But even in such an instance, there is still a way out, and we'll get to that. But I need to help you understand that at times, and actually in most of the cases, spouses that fall into infidelity are not culprits. They are victims. Sadly, many times they are victims that have been aided and abetted by their partners. Because you see, there's an adage in English language that it takes two to tango, they did not arrive at that junction on their own. And at times, before you take the judgmental knife or the judgmental approach, you have to first of all ask yourself, have I aided and abetted my partner in getting at this junction? And there are several ways by which we can do that, which we will quickly talk about. There are several ways by which we ourselves have not helped the matter and may have pushed our spouses to such situations. That does not excuse our spouses for the wrong they have done. But we also, in terms of maturity and responsibility, have got to be able to take ownership and ask, did I have any part in this? I think one of the fastest and the easiest ones to address quickly is lack of satisfaction sexually. That is never an excuse for infidelity. Nothing can be a good enough excuse. But let us be frank. If we're not sexually satisfying our spouses, then we are making it difficult for them. We're putting them in a place where they are vulnerable. Vulnerable is a word I would even prefer to employ than making it difficult. What do I mean by vulnerable? It's like, you tell your spouse, do not eat until I feed you. Do not eat until I feed you. They're not fasting. They're just not eating because you haven't fed them. And then they are at a verge where they are completely starved. And then they hear their neighbor frying plantain. There's a funny principle in the Bible that says if a thief is caught, separate what kind of thief it is. That if somebody has stolen because they are hungry, the Bible says that do not punish them severely. They are not stealing for pleasure. They are stealing for survival. You see, sex, like hunger, is an appetite. It is something put in God to be satisfied in marriage. It is wrong for a person to be married and still be living under sexual constraints. Sexual constraints is one, whereby the spouse is not giving them attention, sexually speaking. Those are sexual constraints. And then there's also now the aspect of not getting sexual gratification. In either cases, please, you need to see a counselor. Either you see someone that you can trust, a couple that is matured, people that are counselors, or we will be glad to take up that case. But if the person has, is not being sexually satisfied, you need to be able to sit down and talk. Marriage requires transparency. You need to be able to talk. You see, if we have these discussions, we would avert infidelity in marriage. We have to be able to look at ourselves square in the face and address the issues that are there.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
See how to find favor with God and men. See, because the principles of God will bring profitability into your life.
You're welcome to Vantage Church, a Colosseum with a clear-cut mandate to keep the saints with faith relevant for today's living. Our mission, to raise a body of believers who are led by the Spirit and aren't born to end religious notions, is our passion. We're committed to an out-of-the-box Christianity and empowerment to a life of impact and relevance. We invite you to join any of our services, our worship services on Sunday by 10 a.m. at Providence Court beside Coca-Cola, Mokola, Ibadan.
We proclaim to you the good news today.
You're welcome back to today's episode on Naked and Not Ashamed. Like my husband said, one of the things that we need to first address is the question of what caused it. I like the way he addressed the issue of the culprits. Now let's address the issue of the victim. Both of them need to be addressed. Now the funny thing is, if we can find the problem, what caused the problem, then it will be easy to see the solution.
That's right.
And we're talking about vice versa. It could be the husband that has been involved in infidelity. It could be the wife. But either way, both of them need to sit down and first of all leave the issue and ask each other, do we want to move forward from here? Okay, where did I go wrong? Where did you go wrong? Like the example that my husband gave, you don't want him to eat, you're not feeding him, you're not allowing him to eat, you're not telling him, my neighbor is frying plantain, but don't go there. What you don't understand is when you leave, because you won't be together forever, at that point, the temptation is higher for the person to go and beg for plantain from the neighbor. I know you know that we're talking in parables,
Yes.
but the truth of the matter is, are we ready to even find out what caused it? Because if we resolve it now, and the source of the problem is not addressed, it will happen again and again and again. So the first thing is what caused it? At what point, where did we go wrong? Where did we miss it? Once you can fix that problem, then it now comes to the next thing, which is the issue of forgiveness. And that's a very serious matter that needs to be addressed. Once you have been able to say, you know what, I would respect a woman that says, you know what, this is my fault, I caused it. I
Or
know
a
I have
man.
stabbed, or a man.
It
It could be a man or a woman. Say, you know what, I'm sure that you were tempted because of this, or because I deprived you of this, or I was too busy to do this. I'm so sorry. Even though what you did is very painful for me, can we sit down and address this issue? Can we see a counselor? Can we see our pastor? Can you talk to someone? Can we see somebody, a therapist that can help us get over this? And then the solution has to be provided to the problem, because if you don't fix that problem, it will occur again. And that point, talking to people will now help you to walk over it, walk through it, and then forgiveness can now come in.
Awesome. If your spouse is not a culprit, there's a saying that I heard many years ago, full of wisdom. And it says that it's the man that, because when we say the man, many times there are stereotypes in society where we just assume that if there's infidelity, it is the man. I would have you know those statistics are quickly changing.
Yes.
But the saying goes like this, that it's the man that has not eaten pounded yam at home that will be going down the road, and then the person will see, gala or sausage rolls or see yogurt and be calling them, I don't know how to make that sound, in fact, yogurt, gala. If a person has eaten food, they don't start buying puff-puff on the road. If your spouse is properly fed and they are not culprits, there will be no reason.
Yeah.
There will be no justifiable reason. That is why you have to ensure that you, as your spouse, as their partner, you're playing your part. There will be no reason.
Yeah.
There was once, that I don't know whether you remember, that we went on vacation, and there was this store on the waters, and the boat was transparent, and we got on the boat, and we were being taken. So the boat was transparent. It was a massive, you would call it an aquarium, but it was actually like a mini sea. We had all manner of fishes, octopuses, sharks, everything was inside. But there was no blood in the water. The sharks were, the other fishes were there. The sharks were not attacking them. Nothing was attacking the other. So somebody asked, said, why are the sharks not attacking the other shark? When the person asked, I just naturally thought to myself, why would the person be asking such a simple question? I already had that figured out. They are obviously dosing the sharks, giving them some kind of drugs to make them docile or to make them inactive. I was shocked at how wrong I was when the tour guide said that we feed them properly in the morning. That when sharks are full, they don't hunt.
Wow.
Do you know the same is true of lions?
Yeah.
That is the natural order of life. How much more your spouse? So, there is a responsibility in marriage. There's a subject that I teach for marriage sessions called bluntly, marriage is sex. And I always tell people, if you don't want to have sex, please do not get married. You cannot get married and not understand you have a responsibility, one towards the other, to satisfy each other. That is why you have to be transparent. The Bible says they were naked and were not ashamed. You have to be able to address issues and talk when it is required. Now, one of the places where many a times couples find themselves victims is as a result of ignorance. And I want to talk about the place or the moment when the wife becomes pregnant. Do you know statistics have shown that many a times those are the stages where infidelity takes place the most? Because many a times, there have been issues where the wife is pregnant and she's uncomfortable. And listen, these things are really true. Husbands have got to exercise patience, but the wives have also got to exercise restraint. You can't be too too touchy, where this one, you can't breathe, many a times for the man, it's just like, you know what, just stay. I'm good. And those places lead them to vulnerability.
Yeah.
In fact, I will tell you this. In the early stages of pregnancy, really your body can be sensitive. Man, you can't go pressing away as if nothing, is happening. Your wife's body is going through massive changes. But as this pregnancy progresses, the body also adapts. And there are even stages where they will tell you that to help with your bathing, to help with the childbirth, that you and your husband need to be together continuously, that it will help with the process.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. You're welcome back to today's episode of Naked and Unashamed.
Now, when this road has been passed, and one has crossed the line as far as infidelity is concerned, what usually makes it even more terrible is keeping it a secret. You see, because sin loves secrecy. Sin loves darkness, or not being able to make things open. It's not an easy matter, but in marriage, understanding is required. Two have become one. First of all, there shouldn't be anything that you cannot discuss with your spouse. I think that even really, if husbands and wives can be sincere one with the other and have discussions such as, I think I'm beginning to like so and so, or I think that so and so might be attracted to me and is giving me green light. Do you know that such openness will prevent so many havocs in life from taking place? But like we have said, once the deed has been done, you have crossed the line. Many a times, what makes it the first act is a mistake, and the hardest to commit. The next will be easier. Listen, as bad as it is, it will only get worse. Whatever you think you are hiding because it's bad, I'm telling you, going down that road will make it worse. You don't continue down a road even because, just because you have missed your way. You don't continue down the road. You just say that, well, we've missed our way, so we're going to Ogomosho. This road is leading to Zamfara, so we'll just continue driving.
Yeah.
You just don't head down a road, we just not being able to admit that, look, I think we missed the way. I think we took a wrong bend. You just don't continue and say, well, since we missed the road, wherever this road takes us, we'll go there. You need to be able to sit down. If you love your spouse, and I believe you do, and tell them, honey, I've made a mistake. I've trespassed. I've broken your trust. I have put our marriage in jeopardy. You see, not being able to say those things are the things that eventually make it even more difficult. And I'm going to talk about this and then hand it to you. At times when you even want to make the adjustment, I'm telling you, it's better not making the mistake. It's difficult to turn around at times, because at times the person they have cheated with might be unwilling to let them go.
Wow.
So at times there are cases where the person begins to threaten them and say, if you ever try and break this up, we will reveal it to your spouse. At times they even have pictures, they have videos, and they threaten them. But listen, own it. Whatever it is in life, be a man. Own up to it. And when I say be a man, I'm speaking to both men and women. I'm actually saying, when we say be a man, we're saying be matured. Own it. And be able to say, look, we made a mistake, but we can't continue down this road. Talk to your spouse. If you feel like the situation will be too volatile, based on your experience with your spouse, please get a third party involved. Somebody that is of matured thinking, of understanding, an elder, somebody you can trust, somebody you can, open up your family to, a counselor, or you can reach out to us.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. We'd like to intimate you with our online platform where we have an amazing list of events to bless you every week. You can join us for prophetic prayers every Monday to Wednesday by 6 a.m. where we connect to God's blessings. Every Tuesday is our special couples session by 7 p.m. where we talk about every area of marriage, relationship, finances, and children. On Wednesday, we have our midweek Bible study by 7 p.m. to help us grasp the deeper understanding of the things of God. You can join any of these awesome live sessions at Yinka Adeleke on Facebook and Instagram. Simply search yinka.adeleke on Facebook, Yinka_Adeleke on Instagram. You can also search for Yinka Adeleke on YouTube for amazing and insightful messages covering every subject. You can also enjoy reruns of all our Naked and Not Ashamed sessions on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube every Friday by 8 p.m. You'll surely be blessed. You're welcome back to today's episode on Naked and Not Ashamed. Having said all that, I think one of the things that we also need to talk about is the issue of forgiveness. I know it's not so easy. It's not it's not that trivial. But how would you like it? Do you want to lose your spouse, or do you rather want to make up and allow God to heal you over time? Like we said, it's not like we're saying forgive and forget about it. No, I know from time to time it might come up. The pain might come around and everything. But how willing are you? I'm ready to let go and allow time to heal you. It will heal with time. And while it's healing, the spouse would also make effort to buy back the trust, because the trust has been
earn it back.
Yes,
Right.
you have to earn back the trust, because the trust has been gone away with.
Right.
The moment you committed that atrocity, the moment you committed that mistake, you made that mistake, you actually let go of the trust. So you have to earn back the trust in true sincerity. Like something about you seeing the true and the genuine. Thank you. The genuine sincerity. Like, I am willing to change. If we make things right, if you can work with me, if you can help me, this is a weakness, please help me, let's work through this together. And please, I'm going to say this from a woman's perspective. I know women, it might be a bit difficult for us. Avoid talking to people about it. Avoid spreading the news. Avoid making it an issue. Avoid telling your friends about it, because after it has been long gone, after you're forgiving each other, people will not forget, and they might use it to castigate your spouse. They might use it against him. It might affect his person, it might affect his confidence, his ego, and it might bring the end of your marriage. What would separate the marriage might not even be the infidelity, but the after effect of it. Right. So please, in the place of forgiveness, time will heal. Yes, you might need prayers, you might need someone to talk to, you might need counseling, you might need therapy, but allow time to heal. And while you're being healed, let there be genuine and sincere actions and efforts. Yeah. And while that is going on, avoid spreading the virus, avoid spreading the news, avoid spoiling the person's person, because if the care is not taken, the people that you talk to today will forever use it against that person, even after you as a person have forgiven them.
True. You know, infidelity, as bad as it is, as grave as it is, does not necessarily have to be the end of your marriage. Do you love this person? I mean, this person that you pledged your love to, I mean, are they still the same person? That is why, if it is a mistake, and of course you have added or enable them in one way or the other to make it, you know, you still have got to be willing to save them. You know, it's not an easy illustration, but when if our spouse is drowning, the first effort we make is to rescue them.
Yeah.
Unless if it's a suicide. Even at that, we make all the effort to still rescue a drowning person.
Yeah.
In fact, you will make effort to rescue a drowning dog. How much more a person, how much more your spouse.
Yes, sir.
So even though it has happened, you need to be able to ask that, look, you know, because, you know, there is nothing that that marriage cannot survive. There is nothing. There is no situation. There is no situation that justifies divorce, except in cases whereby life is threatened and life is in danger. Yes, but other than that, it depends on you.
Yeah.
It depends on you.
Yeah.
You know, and I would want to say this to you. I want to say this to you. That person that has made a mistake, please, if you can forgive them and move past this, please do, because they might still be the love of your life.
Yeah.
How do you know whether you will ever meet somebody else later in life that will be better than them? And somebody else that you might think is better, are they? Because it always is a defining situation when you begin to live with a person after you're married to them. You know, so endeavor to help your spouse out of this situation if they have ever fallen in it. And part of the thing that makes it easy or makes it easier for both of you, do not be judgmental.
Yeah.
It is painful. It is painful. You will be hurt. But do not be judgmental. In your responses, still let it be from a standpoint of love, a standpoint of consideration. Sit down with them, let them know, look, I understand, you know, and can you forgive me? Can we move on? And if you are the culprit, please, do not start looking for scenarios of why you did what you did. Sir, what you did, man, what you did, you have done. What you did is bad. You know, do not look for an excuse. You know, but it's something that we can be able to talk about and say, look, I'm sorry I did this. You know, this would never happen again. If we can create these scenarios, these situations, atmosphere in our marriage, it will be extremely beneficial to allow us and help us to move on and to move forward. There are cases whereby it's not as easier said than, you know, it's not as easy said as it is. Especially cases whereby pregnancy has gotten involved.
Wow.
Those are very tricky waters. Those are very challenging situations, but they would depend on a lot of factors. But what I want you to get today, the point I want you to hold on to, it doesn't have to be the end of your marriage. No, it doesn't. I have seen and heard several testimonies and stories of couples that made this mistake, where a partner made this mistake, fell into infidelity. They walked through it, they walked it out, they came out of it. Guess what? The marriage became stronger. What was the broken edge? What was the crack in the wall that created that snare in the first place? Got healed, and that marriage became so beautiful. And you would never believe that they went through such a crisis unless they tell you. I guess the old adage is true. Whatever doesn't kill you will only make you stronger.
Yeah. As you can see, there's maturity at play. A lot of maturity has to be at play for what you just said now to happen. Maturity from both parties, but from the man and from the woman, from both spouses. And that's one of the things that we preach here. You need to ensure that you handle things with a level of maturity. The times that you have to cry, crying is not a big deal. It's okay to cry. It's not a sin. It's okay to cry. It's okay to shout. You might go to a lonely place. You might go inside the bush and just shout.
It take some time away.
Yeah, just take some time out. But make sure that in the process of it, you're healing. And by the time you're back, you're restored. And then you can restore your partner.
I want to say this last before we close today. In Nigeria, because, you know, this will be televised in all places in the world. In Nigeria, our highest currency is 1,000 naira. And one of the best ways to illustrate why this doesn't have to be the end of your relationship with your spouse is if you take 1,000 naira, yes, we should not devalue our money. We should take good care of our naira. But if you take that note and hypothetically you were to fold it, squeeze it, squash it, throw it in the ground, step on it, trample on it, and pick it up, it is still in value 1,000 naira. Your spouse might have made a mistake. That is not who they are. Do not make them their mistake. Help them to find middle ground. Help them to find healing. Help to bring them back to the marriage, back from where they fell from. And you might in so doing win one of the most successful marriages that you will ever know. We pray this doesn't happen, but if it does, we pray that God will also grant you grace and the strength for you and your partner to come out of it graciously.
Hallelujah.
We would love your comments to come in. We would love to hear your feedbacks. And we'd also love to hear your questions so we can know exactly what areas to address. So until next week, be naked and not ashamed.